Sweater with Kathleen Dames. We're on spring hiatus right now, but I'll still be sharing some fun things with you every week until we're ready to knit our second sweater together when season 2 starts in May. Hello my friends, and thank you for joining me for our last spring hiatus episode. Oh, are you excited? I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the start of season 2 where we will be knitting the Purly Pullover together. But today I thought I'd share a couple of last knits with you before we go on to something new. I had a few requests to talk about a vest for Charles, which I think for some people, if you've seen the pattern, it might be a little confusing. It's all knit in one piece. It's all knit in one piece. It's pretty cool. So as with most of my designs, we start at the bottom and we work our way up. Because it doesn't have sleeves, it's slightly different than the usual way we do things. And so we work sections back and forth. We work each front individually and we work the back individually. But up here, the cool thing about it is there are some short rows that shape the vest onto the shoulder, and then we do a 3-needle bind off, which means you don't sew a seam at all. You don't weave together any underarms. All you do is weave in your ends and sew on some buttons and you're good to go. So in that respect, it's a really finish-free knit. You just get the fun part of buttons. And the 3-needle bind off is a nice, secure enough sort of end to your shoulder without having to cast off stitches and then sew them together. And I don't find that grafting stitches together for the shoulder is necessarily strong enough. I like that 3-needle bind off. It's a good firm way to finish things off. The thing about a vest for Charles is it is a Jane Austen knit. It was designed for Charles Musgrove, who had the good sense to fall in love with Anne Elliot. Unfortunately for him, she said no because of course she was still in love with Captain Wentworth, so he married her sister Mary. But you know, he appreciated Anne, he knew she was pretty wonderful, and so I figured he deserved his own vest. The patterns on the vest are taken from the vest, which we would consider something more like a Henley or a pullover. It's a pullover type of sweater with a button placket up the front. And it had these patterns, this diamond brocade pattern, and then there are some patterns down below that were also in the sweater. This is the sweater that King Charles II wore to his beheading. Yes, so it's a little bit gory. The vest still exists, and not too long ago they did some I think spectrograms of it, and you could still see the blood stains. Like, it's been cleaned, I guess. Maybe it must have been cleaned somehow. But it's the real deal. And what's really interesting about it is they're pretty sure it was knit by a man. It's a guild sort of knit piece, and so it's very fine work and very many stitches per inch. So this is a great way to sort of have something that harkens back to an earlier time. It has a story to tell, but this is a Brooklyn tweed shelter, so we're talking 4 or 5 stitches to the inch. Much more manageable, realistic for modern humans, 21st century humans. There are a few of us, I'm sure, who like to knit at a very fine gauge. I'm talking like 15, 20 stitches per inch, but not for this. You want to have something quick to give to your loved one. This is a great example, because you just you work back and forth all the way up to the underarms. We're doing the integrated button band, and but remember to sew them on the appropriate side for if your recipient is a man or a woman. And even the collar is worked, it's all integrated. And you'll feel very clever because you'll be very familiar with the stitch pattern by the time you get up here, and you can do your short rows in pattern. I promise you can do it. So that is a vest for Charles. It's a great pattern. It's got a lot of history in it, but it's been modernized, and that's something that I like to do. If you are thinking about, if you've got DK yarn that you're excited about and you thought you wanted to knit the Purly Pullover and then you realized that you really want something with waist shaping, you might like the sweater that I'm wearing today. This is called Sotherton. It's also a Jane Austen inspired knit. It is knit in DK. This is Madeline Tosh in the colorway Byzantine, and it is a fitted sweater. It's using twisted stitches and a cable pattern to really create some great waist shaping. It's a lot of fun to knit if you're looking for something a little different from the Purly Pullover, because I know not every sweater is for everyone. So if you're looking for something a little more va-va-voom than the Purly Pullover, which is of course our wonderful, special, but relaxed sweatshirt style of sweater, you may want to check out Sotherton. It was inspired by the Sotherton estate in Mansfield Park. So it's a little something different. So I think that's all for today. Next week, we're going to start season 2, episode 1. So we will be pulling out our patterns. I'll talk a little bit about casting on, but casting on and yarn and stuff we'll really talk about in further episodes. But we'll decide on our size, what weight of yarn we're going to use, and all those kinds of things. So until next time, thank you so much for being here, and happy knitting. Bye.